It looked like a dog, you know. They call it like the dog man or something. I mean, this thing was built. I mean, this thing was rugged. I mean, it's something I wouldn't want to tangle with it, you know.
One night, I'm sitting there and I had a dead body in my bed.
Yes, that's when I started hearing the doors opening and closing and them walking through the house.
Giant ruby-looking thing appeared in front of me, then one next to it, then a third next to it. The third one opened up a porthole in my room.
Welcome to Myths, Monsters, and Mullets. I am your host, John Methenkamp. When I started this podcast, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know the direction that the show would take. I really do like the live aspect of how I run my show, but sometimes there can be a lot of distractions and keeping up with the comments, things like that. So I wanted to just have a conversation with my co-host, Copenhagen. So we decided to do a little different segment. And if you guys like it, we'll continue to do it. We're going to call it Off the Rails, since that's where most of my lives go anyway. And it's going to give you the feel of the live without the distractions of the live. So I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And if you have a paranormal encounter, you can contact me at mythsandmullets@gmail.com.
This call is now being recorded.
I think we're live now. You're recording? Okay. Welcome to the first episode of Off the Rails. I am your host, John Methenkamp. And I want to do a different kind of segment. Something where we can still have the same feel of the live, but without the distractions of the live. So on this first episode, bring in my co-host, Copenhagen. And the way this is going to work is we're just going to, we've already picked a couple topics, and we're just going to talk about it. And it's just going to be a conversation. Nobody here is an expert on anything. But we have our own opinions, and that's what this is going to be. It's just going to be us talking, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, Copenhagen, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I am just peachy.
I couldn't ask for anything better than peachy.
That's right. So are you guys getting this snow that everybody else is supposed to get this weekend?
No, we get rain. I don't think I've seen a snowflake in 3 years.
Well, I heard that they're talking about like Tennessee down to Georgia getting snow on Sunday night.
Yeah, they're talking Florida is supposed to dip down into possible teens.
They're going to die. They're going to die.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Floridians they better get their parkas out.
Right.
Their heat pumps down there are not going to keep up.
I was talking to the guys from Nevermore Hollows earlier. We were talking about that. I was like, hey, are you guys going to survive this?
I'm telling you, when it gets to go like right now here, even it's cold for us. Like this weekend's going to be 35 throughout the day and down the teens at night. And we're just not used to it. We're just not. My heat pump doesn't keep up, so I'll have to throw a kerosene heater in my house or throw some wood on my open hearth just to keep the chill out, because my heat pump just doesn't keep up. Yeah.
When I lived in Louisiana, like none of the houses had insulation on their pipes or anything like that. So
right.
I can imagine.
Yep.
It was a big
lot of people wake up to the busted pipes, man. When it gets down to 19 and below here with some wind, a lot of people wake up to their pipes frozen here.
Yeah. And it was just a big culture shock when I went down there. Like you got spigots, and they're coming straight up out of the ground, and I'm used to up here. You got insulation on them all the way up to the handle, and
snow every year.
Right.
I mean, snow
Right.
snow is an issue. Snow here is no issue, and when it becomes an issue, I've watched Walmart actually shut the doors for an inch of snow. 1 inch, Walmart shut.
Yeah. When my sister she lived in Atlanta for a while, and that's when they actually got like 3 inches of snow.
Oh,
And
yeah, that destroyed that whole place.
right, she's like, people were abandoning their cars on the freeway and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. There's like 200-300 cars on the interstate just abandoned all
Right.
over the place. I remember that. That's been about what, 6 or 7 years, 8 years ago, something like that.
Oh, it's been
10
a long
years.
time. It was back in the 90s.
Oh,
But
okay, long time. Shit,
she
I don't know.
she was working at the hospital or something, and she comes into work, and her boss is like freaking out, like, "What are you doing out there? It snowed." And she's like, "I'm from Ohio. This is nothing."
Oh yeah, that's nothing for us to drive in. No, no. My wife gets all crazy. She gets all weird about the snow. Like the snow, and I'm like, I got to drive her everywhere. And it's crazy, man. People are nuts, and I have a hodgepodge of everyone here, like because of all the military bases and NASA and all that stuff, and being such a big tourist place. Man, everybody's from everywhere here. Not there's hardly any. You got locals, obviously, but there are a lot of people from everywhere else, and
Right.
they don't know how to drive.
Yeah, I always joked about that when I was in Louisiana. It was like, if somebody spilled their pop from McDonald's on the road, man, these people they would freak out because of the
Oh
ice.
yeah, yeah. But it rains, man. They want to drive faster. You get a good day, they want to drive slower. You got snow, they go brainless. And it's amazing. It behooves me. People they're allowed to get driver's license these days. Kills me.
Yeah. So have you heard about these two guys they're from Portland, Oregon, and they went into that, was it Gifford Pinchot National Forest?
National Forest.
Yeah, and they were searching for Sasquatch, and apparently they left. It was supposed to be just a quick day trip. They left Christmas Eve morning, and when they didn't come back home that night at 1 o'clock Christmas morning, their family called the sheriff saying, "Hey, we're worried about our family here." Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it. A little bit. I don't know a whole lot about it because I don't think they're really putting a whole lot out there on it. But what I've heard, and I've heard conflicting stories on ages too. I heard one where a guy was 53 and one guy was 57. Then I heard one was 53 and one guy was 37. So, do you know the correct ages on those guys?
Yeah, the second one was right. There was a younger guy and an older guy. One guy in his
That's what
50s.
makes it strange to me too. Even stranger is having a younger man with a little bit of an older man there. That still happens, and in just that short period of time.
Well, so this is where it kind of gets interesting. And at first they're just saying, these guys went out there, they're searching for Sasquatch, and for whatever reason, they're making it sound like they just got lost and they were
And
ill-prepared.
succumb to succumb to the elements is basically what they're saying.
Right. Like these people, the way they made it
Like
sound,
they didn't know how to start a fire or something.
They're not coming out and saying this, but they make it sound like these guys were wearing shorts and t-shirts.
You're right. Right.
Talking about how they weren't prepared for the cold weather, but that wasn't quite true. I saw a Facebook post from the sheriff's office that actually they did the search and rescue. So to get back to the story for the people that haven't heard it, they spent 3 days over Christmas. I think there was like 60 volunteers, and then the search and rescue from the sheriff's office out there looking for them. The way they found them was those flock cameras that law enforcement uses, where it reads the license plates, and that's how they figured out where the last one they went past or whatever. So that's how they were able to narrow their search down and found these guys. And they found them together, succumbed to the elements. That's the story as of right now.
And they're sticking to that so far, you know.
Right. It is weird.
And then all the search and rescue stuff got stolen that next morning. Every bit of their equipment got stolen.
The night that those guys were rescued, that stuff got stolen. Somebody cut through the fence and stole all their equipment that exact
Every
night.
bit of it. That's
That
weird,
to me,
man.
right there, that sounds fishy.
Well, they don't want. It seems to me like, you know, when you got FLIR imaging drone and things like that, they don't want you looking for something. That's what worries me about state parks, is because state parks are so vast and you're limited on where you can go, and it's controlled by our government. And not, man, there's something going on in all of our national forests. There's too many people that just come up missing completely to never be seen before ever again, and too many people that died very mysteriously in our national forest for something not to be very odd going on.
I'm sure that you've watched it, but the Missing 411 series. Have you watched that?
I have.
Yeah, I mean, there's countless. I shouldn't say countless. They just don't know. They don't release the information
No,
of
I don't.
people that get missing in the national forest every year.
And no ranger's allowed to speak of anything. They're like threatened. You know, it's not even like you sign. They're literally threatened that if you say anything at all, your career's over, Jack. You know.
Right.
So they
Right.
don't. They literally wait 20 years, retire, then talk about things that everybody wants to say. No, that's not real. No, I wasn't a forest ranger for 25 years in this one national park. You know, come on.
So I don't know if I froze up or if you froze up.
You never froze up on me.
Okay. So we're still good.
Yeah.
I'll edit that part out.
Yeah, I didn't see anything happen. I must have been looking away.
Yeah. So when I found this Facebook post, I don't remember if I found it or if somebody shared it to me or if I shared it with them. Everybody knows that I talked to the guys from Drunken Cryptids and Nevermore Hollows. We're in a group chat. I don't remember who shared what. I know we were all looking at this stuff. But when I went to the Facebook post and I started reading through the comments, one thing, people are horrible. People are horrible on the internet.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
you know, nobody knows what happened yet. And these people are, you know, making comments like the winner of the Darwin Awards. And, you know, we don't know what happened.
And people actually lost their lives, man. Like, what happened to the value of life? Come on. Like, why are people so sick? Like, to me, it's sickening. Makes me sick.
Right. And so, you know, reading through the comments, and I actually heard this on Drunken Cryptids today because I hadn't checked this Facebook post in a couple of days. But somebody had commented about being related to one of these guys. And apparently,
oh wow,
these guys were not inexperienced.
I wouldn't think that they would go out in the mountains of Portland or out in the mountains of Oregon, anywhere like that, man, and not have some kind of experience and live there and do that, especially if you're going to go out searching for Bigfoot. I mean, Bigfoot's so real there to them that they have laws against shooting Bigfoot, man. You know, like I think California's got a law that you're not allowed to shoot Bigfoot or something like that. And you see when you are not allowed to shoot it, you know, or Washington State, one of them states have it, you know.
I'm pretty sure it was California that I know that somebody was trying to get that passed.
And their crossing signs with Bigfoot crossing signs on the road, like that's real. That's not there for joke. Like that's real stuff. They actually put them out for people to, you know, be careful, beware, watch out. You know.
Right. So I did look it up from where the closest town that from where they were found to Portland, they were actually found in Washington State, I believe.
Okay, all right.
Just like on the border, it's like right across the border. But from center of Portland to this Willard is like 65 miles. So according to Google Maps, under good driving conditions, it was like a 95-minute to an hour, 90 to 100-minute drive from center of Portland. And I don't know where at in Portland they live. They just said they're from Portland.
Right.
So it's wintertime. The sun's going to go down at what, 5 o'clock? It's going to be dark.
Right. And when do you look for Sasquatch mostly?
Well, the way it made it sound from the sheriff's office, like they were supposed to be back that evening. Like they weren't going to be out after dark.
See, I didn't find none of these reports like you're talking about from the sheriff's department stuff.
Yeah, I
was searching, man. You must have found a link or something good that I didn't get to see. I searched too.
I've seen a lot of links on it, so I can't be exactly 100% sure which link it was where I saw this.
That's pretty cool, though. I like to hear that, though.
But these guys, from the way I understand it, these guys were experienced. Like this wasn't their first rodeo out there in the woods.
Oh,
and
you
know that if you're experienced in the woods, you take a little extra precaution. You don't just walk out there wearing jeans and a jacket thinking, well, I'm only going to be out here for an hour.
Man, they got cougars and stuff there too, dude. Like they got big cats that like to jump on your back, and big bears, So.
Right. So if you're from that area, even if you're from the city, you still know.
Yep.
This is not like living in New York City and going out of state
or going down to Central Park to have a barbecue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is real deal. Like this is life shit. When you go up into these mountains, anywhere in the woods, I don't care if you can go to the prairie for crying out loud, and you can get yourself lost and turn around for days. So you got to, these guys actually, I about guarantee that they knew what they were doing. This is very suspicious that there's no more that what I've found is very suspicious to me. Very suspicious.
Well, the guys on Drunken Cryptids brought up a good point. Maybe the reason they haven't released these guys' names.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Names.
Maybe they're known for being Bigfoot hunters.
Oh no, dude. Good thinking, man. A lot of well-known Bigfoot hunters love watching. They're able to go do that stuff too.
Right. So I mean,
Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. Like think about that too, John. Think about that too. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Family time, bro. You really got to be a dedicated person, really love that stuff, be into it to say, I'm going to take my Christmas Eve and I'm going to go Bigfoot hunting.
Exactly.
Think about that. Most people say, I'm going to take my Christmas Eve and go get my last deer of the season or you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Not go out and look for Bigfoot. That you really got to love and be dedicated to that.
But that goes back to what you said. The deer hunters or whatever, they're dedicated to that, and that's the reason they give up that family time.
Yes,
so their family time to go look for Bigfoot doesn't sound like Joe Schmo that, hey, I heard about Bigfoot, let's go look for him today.
Right. This was a planned thing. These two guys knew they were going. The family knew that they were going, and the family obviously, was fine with it. My wife would throw a fit. She'd be like, what are you talking about? You're going Christmas Eve, go searching for Bigfoot. Like, what are you talking? These guys actually, there's a lot more to this, John.
Right.
There's a lot more to this.
And then you throw in the fact that all this equipment was stolen the exact night. And to me, that the reason that screams cover up is now you have plausible deniability of, well, what happened to the video? What happened to
Zero
the
suspects.
right? So now it's like, well, that stuff got stolen, so we just don't have any record of it.
Think about that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's insane to me. When I saw that, I'm like, what? What do you mean? What? There's no names. These guys are out on Christmas Eve. They're come to the elements. All your equipment stolen the exact next day you find the body. Man, there's something going on with this, man. And the crypt jumping cryptid guys, they're onto something too with what they said about that. It was amazing. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool.
Right. And
it may be somebody that we know in the Bigfoot world on TV or YouTube or however,
Right. And like I said, I'm not taking credit for that. That I did hear that on another show.
Sure. I can't take credit for anything. I hear all my stuff from other sources, and that basically,
Right.
A lot of my stuff I get from you because I may research, but you have a bigger search engine and a wider base of Bigfoot people. So you will get things more, you will know more than I'll know for sure.
Oh, man,
just by having you have a larger base of people with,
Yeah, I'm not, and you're giving me a lot more credit than what I really have.
Well, I mean, junking cryptids and they're just those guys alone, having them help brainstorm. Two heads are better than one, this and that. These guys are into what they're doing. They're very good at what they're doing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm giving you the credit you deserve. I mean, you absolutely know more than I do, and I researched the crap out of it. I'm like, great, here I'm coming into this, and this is all I have to talk with John about. But you had twice as much by just having a couple guys that you knew off of Facebook.
Yeah,
that's 2 steps on me on that, dude.
But yeah, and then
this is Coke Zero, by the way, everybody.
Well, this is going to be audio only, so unless they heard you drinking it and assume that it was something else.
Maybe they heard you crack it open.
I did the video.
I did my beard for no reason.
It was lagging.
That's pretty good. But no, those guys came up with a really good point with that. I mean, it's got me thinking even harder. But I want to know the conditions of the bodies. I want to know if they just succumb to the elements, like how were there frostbite? Were there any broken bones? Were there? Did they take a fall and have to stay in a gully? Did they get trapped and couldn't get out of somewhere that they slid down, or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious what kind of cell phone coverage is in that area.
Right.
It's probably not good. It's in the middle of the mountains, so it's probably not good.
Right.
But if you go to Verizon or whatever, you can put in an address or whatever and see what kind of cell phone service you can get there.
Yeah.
I would just be curious to see, what's available in that area.
Right.
Because like I said, they're not releasing the names and nobody gives out their cell phone anymore.
Nobody does. And nobody remembers a telephone number anymore. There was a time we had to know 17,000 telephone numbers, and we did know them all by heart.
You know what's funny about that is I can remember like my phone number growing up. I can remember aunts, uncles, grandparents' phone numbers.
Yep.
And I've been with my wife for 8 years. She's had the same freaking phone number.
You don't know it.
No. No.
I only know my wife because it hasn't changed in like 15 years. She's had the same number for 15 years. It's the only reason why I know her number.
What?
But I still remember my very first telephone number from very first one. Yet.
You know what? It's kind of bad because I don't know my wife's phone number, but I do know my ex-wife's phone number.
Oh, man.
That's only because we have kids together and I had to fill out those emergency medical forms all the time. So I
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But
Yeah.
you know, these guys going out and even like we like to camp on the weekends, and where we're camping.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's literally you can walk from where we're camping to the house in probably, I don't know, 20-30 minutes.
Sure.
It's not, and that's just a leisurely walk.
Right. It's not the camping we did when we were kids.
Right.
The camp we did when we were kids, we were in the middle of nowhere, dude.
Right. This is 120 acre farm or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're in the back part of it. But even then, we pack extra clothes in case it gets cold.
Yeah.
We bring extra stuff just in case.
Yeah.
So if you're going out looking for Bigfoot and you're experienced, you live in the Pacific Northwest, you're going into a national forest, you're going to bring extra stuff. You're going to bring a change of socks. You're going to bring a change of shoes. You're going to bring a change of clothes, period. Because you never know when you're going to step in a puddle and you don't want to be out there with wet clothes. I mean, that's rule number one. Survivor Man taught me that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth, though, man. It really, truly is. And those guys there's no, man, I'm telling you, you can say it 100 times over. There's no way they went in there unprepared. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that they went in there with no way of starting a fire, John. No way, dude. No way. One of them, a ferrule rod, a knife. I mean, something. They had something to make sure that they could keep warm, that they would not succumb to the elements. I'll be able to start a fire. I'm telling you that you get me. I will make fire, bro. Telling you.
Right.
There's nowhere I'd go that I wouldn't have something to create fire with. No, there's nowhere. If you've watched enough survival videos or done enough anything like that, there's enough on you electronically to take out to start a fire. Little piece of metal and a battery and a piece of cotton. Bam, you got fire, son. I'm telling you, they knew that something's odd.
Right. And that's what I was getting ready to say it, but you beat me to it.
Sorry.
If you're going to be out there, you're going to take supplies. One of those supplies is probably a flashlight.
Yes.
What's flashlights have in them? They got batteries. You can make fire with a battery. It does.
Yeah.
Some
of them even have a little bit of fabric in them where you can take that out to get that son of a gun to go too.
Well, you're wearing clothes. You've got some kind of fabric that you can use. Maybe if it got wet, okay, I can see that. They're still, these guys were, from what I understand, they were not ill prepared. They were not inexperienced going out there.
Nope.
They had to have at least a knife. They had a flashlight.
Right.
And
they had their cameras.
Right. Something.
They had a book bag. They had extra batteries, water. They probably had something to munch on. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this is very weird that they're hiding this. And I don't care what anybody says. There's stuff being hidden here, big time being hidden.
Right.
You can't convince me otherwise. You really can't.
And so then that takes you to what happened. If they're experienced. So if they're experienced, that means they were prepared. They're going out there. They had only planned on going out for a day trip. Maybe they were going out. Maybe this guy had already seen. This is all speculation.
Sure.
Guy, had seen something there in the past, or had a hot tip on, hey, this was seen in this area, 24 hours ago. Whatever. I don't know. This is all speculation. You're going out there for a quick day trip.
Excuse me.
If this is what I was getting to earlier about the sun going down at 5:00. You've got a 2-hour drive there.
Yep.
2-hour drive back. So there's 4 hours of your day right there. Okay. So even if they left at sun up, say 7:00 in the morning, they're not getting there till 9. They've got to leave by 3. That's only a 6-hour window of being able to search for Sasquatch.
Right. That's not a lot of time.
It's not. It's not, because that doesn't even take into account stop and take a piss or something, you know?
Yeah, it almost seems like they didn't. I don't know how to put it. It almost seems like what's the point of only going for 6 hours?
So,
What's the point? What's the point?
If you're only going out there for, let's say, 6 hours, and I'm assuming they left at sun up, you know?
Yeah,
We don't know any of this stuff,
right.
but just assuming you have 6 hours of daylight, and I don't know the conditions out there, but even if sundown's at 5 o'clock, even though, I live in flatland, so we get that twilight time, before after the sun goes down, but you can still see.
Right.
But I know when I'm in the hills, that amount of time is a lot shorter.
Yes, it is.
And so they're out there in the mountains in these heavily forested area that you go from
rainforest area.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You want to talk about dense and the canopy being really thick. That's a place where the canopy's thick.
Right. So they didn't have. They may not even had 6 hours.
No.
So okay, so they're going out there, and what happens? They run into Bigfoot, and he chases them into the woods. Because if I saw Bigfoot and I know my car is over there, I'm running from the car. Yeah. Well, what if Bigfoot's between you and your car?
Or you're going that way.
Right. You're running away from it. You're running into the woods, whatever.
Yep.
And what if it wasn't Bigfoot?
It could be, man. If we just knew a little bit more on the conditions of the bodies, on what truly what they were like because it's hard to know it must come to the elements. Well, I mean, it could just be sitting there frozen, solid, like control. You know how many people and they got scared to death. And that's what it was. They died because they got completely scared to death, and their bodies are contorted and just in atrophy and it's just stuck like statues, because something terrified them completely to death.
Right.
And why 6 hours? Think about it too. 6 hour time to go look for something. Did one of them say, "Hey, man, I went to this spot and I saw a sign like you wouldn't believe. Like I saw a nest, or I saw all kinds of marking, and I saw this, or I had an experience. We need to go back. I don't care if it's tomorrow. I don't care if it's Christmas Day. We got to go, right? I just want to show you this one spot, or whatever, that type of thing." And they get there, and they wasn't thinking about just going to look for Bigfoot, body, dog, take a picture. Maybe they had a destination. They had like, "Hey, I need to show you this." And when they got there, they wasn't supposed to be there. Like, you showed up on the wrong place, Jack. We were waiting for you. You wasn't supposed to come back. We knew you were here the first time. That 4 hour time, man, it seems like they were there to hit and run. Like, go take a look and get out of there.
So this is now I'm going to throw
I know that was a curveball, but maybe you got a slider you can put in there. I don't know.
We've had all these drone reports. They had drone reports in Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What if it was UFOs?
What if it was UFO, man? What if they got zapped and that was it? That right there where you are, you're done, dude.
They found them 3 days later.
3 days.
That doesn't compare that entire 3 days. They could have got, this is all speculation. This is
3 days in a national park. You got all those animals that are hungry Somebody's going to start taking nibbles and bites and pieces, and you find the whole bodies are intact. And I want to know more about the conditions of the bodies. That will tell a lot more. They're hiding that.
Yeah. And that if they were, like you said, if they were sitting out there middle of winter and the animals, they're hungry.
They're hungry, dude.
And this is like frozen TV dinner on steroids.
Prime time.
It shows up and something's going to be eating on them.
Yeah, man. It don't take long for an animal to catch your scent. And if they are hungry, they will come right to you. There's no doubt about it. A bear will come right to you if he's hungry enough. And a cat will trail you, and a cat will stalk you if it's hungry enough. And you'll never hear that cat. You'll never know that cat's around you.
Yeah, that would be what I'd be most worried about is the cats out there right now. Because I'm no bear expert. I'm not a bearologist.
But they should be hibernating. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was thinking. They should probably be hibernating by now. So I don't think it would be a bear.
I don't think it was an animal.
What would force them off their trail?
Exactly, man. They got scared. Something terrified them, and they got lost.
Right. So
I don't think that they were supposed to be where they were headed.
I agree. And so it limits you down to the big cat.
Yeah.
But
I think they ran into something that, because a lot of people will stand and take a bluff charge from a bear, or take a bluff charge from a cat. But I have never in my life heard a story where someone's like, I took a bluff charge from a Bigfoot and didn't crap their pants. You know what I mean? Or didn't run like hell and get lost somewhere, man.
The guys on Drunken Cryptids brought this up too. I don't want to take credit for stuff that I hear on other shows, but
sure.
But a lot of times you hear with Bigfoot, they pace you out.
Yes.
They like force you to go back to your car. Dogman doesn't do that.
No, Dogman doesn't do that. I know. I knew where you were getting ready to go with that. Dogman does not do that. Dogman has no soul, I don't think, man. I think he's a soulless person. I think that's a soulless thing there, buddy. I really do. I think there's more spiritual stuff going on than we think.
I think at some point we need to do one of these off the rails about Dogman.
Well, I'm down for that, man. I'm all about it. I've been into Dogman for quite a while now. I sent you that thing about that guy that got that one through his window driving that truck, man, and come back and they said we killed one of our assets.
Yeah, and that same guy, I'm pretty sure it was the same guy, was on Destination X with Josh Yates.
Yep. Destination Truth.
No,
he has a couple of destination channels, doesn't he?
Yeah, the one that's about paranormal and stuff, I think it's called Destination X.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I've never seen Josh Gates have any paranormal shows.
Oh yeah, and it's a pretty decent show because they have the one guy, he's the scientist and he's the skeptic about everything, and then
I want to see that episode, man, because I've listened to that guy's I've listened to that thing 5 or 6 different times, because he talked about that thing. He's in a semi truck and he's talking about that thing, his head being over eye level, right? I mean, the eye level, and he was looking down inside of the semi truck as he's running beside the semi truck, looking down into the truck.
Right.
Arms not moving, and he's still keeping up with the semi truck, man. He said the hands were like raccoons' hands, real long fingers.
Yeah, let's do a show at some point on Dogman. But I'd like to go back to
if we don't start knowing conditions of bodies with these guys, we're going to be at a dead end. we can name anything under the sun. We just don't know.
Right. But, it kind of leads us into there's a lot of famous stories of people going missing. And, what was the little boy? What was his name? The one that was,
The 3-year-old.
yeah.
I can't remember his name. I should have wrote it down. I know the story well, but yeah. Do you want you want me to tell a story or
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't remember the boy's name. You can look it up just by typing in, what I talk about. This boy goes missing, right? And he's in when it's through the backwoods from his property into a swampy area. And in this swampy area, there's like a moat that goes around this little island, right? And on this island, it's nothing but a briar patch. The whole island is a briar patch. They said pretty much no man can walk through this thing. You'd have to, chainsaw it and do whatever. Anyway, this little boy went missing for like 3 days. And 3 days, day and night, was out on this little island and said that he was fed by a bear. Okay, he said he hung around with his bear and they fed, and this bear was feeding him. Now, where they located this boy through the woods, and the reason why I say this was an island with a moat because it was a little teeny island with water all the way around it, and the rescuers said that the water was up to their shoulders and necks trying to get to this island to this little boy. Right? Now, why would a bear swim back and forth and help this little kid without just eating this little kid? Bears hibernate. We know that. That makes sense. I think this little boy got taken care of by a Bigfoot, man. I swear, I think a Bigfoot, and this little boy got lost in the woods, and this Bigfoot cared for this kid. He might have been being nipped at by some coyotes or something crazy, and they found some cuts and scrapes and bruises on the boy. But other than that, there was nothing wrong with this kid. And then you got these two dudes go out for a day trip and succumb to the elements. But
Well,
this little 3-year-old boy says that a bear takes care of him. He wouldn't distinguish Bigfoot from a bear. He's 3 years old.
But not only that when that little boy went missing, it was cold then too.
It was absolutely cold, and it was raining. They said it was sleeting rain. It was freezing cold, and that boy had no frostbite. He didn't have hyperthermia, nothing like that. He was just he was just scraped up and bruised a little bit from being taken through the briars and stuff.
That was in like North Carolina or something,
Yep.
wasn't it?
North Carolina. Yep, absolutely. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's a true story. That's on the news, That little boy talks about a bear feeding him.
You have that one guy, and I can't remember his name. He went out 4-wheeling or something, and he rode his 4-wheeler past these people, and hey, how you doing? Or he drove by with his truck. I forget, but somebody had seen him drive by. They find, he doesn't check in, and they end up finding his 4-wheeler in the run position, like the keys in the run position, out of gas in a ditch, and he's nowhere to be found.
That's it. He's just gone.
Just gone. There's no trace of this guy.
They never found that guy.
No,
They never found a shoe or anything from the dude.
nothing. He left his wallet and cell phone in his vehicle.
Man, I think people hit warps or something. Like, I swear there are portals, places that open up and people just go right into them stone guns, dude. I swear.
So my thought is, he's got his 4-wheeler out there. He's doing whatever. And I forget how far away they said the 4-wheeler was from the vehicle, but it was a distance. I think, and this again, just speculations, just my opinion. I think he saw something and he chased after it, and it got him.
Yeah, man. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It's
Because
scary, dude.
you just got off your four-wheeler and, to look at something, it
Left it running and it ran itself out of gas.
in the ditch.
So if he got off of it, he ran after whatever or ran. He wouldn't have ran from whatever because if he would have ran, he would have just drove the four wheeler and chased the son of a gun, right?
Right.
Unless it was that. So, or he'd have ran towards his truck, is what I mean. So he got off and probably had to chase it to where the four wheeler couldn't get down the ditch and through whatever. You're probably right, dude.
Right. So, I mean, there's so much, and they considered foul play. Well, nothing was stolen.
I got a
His wallet
question
was
for
still
you.
there.
I got a question for you. Where in this country is it well known for Sasquatch to be aggressive? Because I know that there are parts of the country where that he's known not to be aggressive, and there's parts of the country where they're known to be aggressive.
From everything that I know, the farther south you get, the more aggressive they are, and more towards Appalachia. The ones in the Pacific Northwest don't seem to be as aggressive, and the ones in the Northeast don't seem to be aggressive.
So like
But
skunk ape, things like that.
and that's just, I mean, again, nobody knows, but this is just from what I hear. And, you start thinking about all these different violent encounters, except Ape Canyon, that's in Washington,
Yeah.
Oregon.
Right,
That was a violent encounter. But for the most part, when, you listen to Sasquatch Chronicles or whatever, the violent, the aggressive ones seem to be more towards the south. And in your area, maybe
Yeah.
you're stealing all their food.
I mean, there's plenty of game and stuff. I don't know, man. It's just, I go out when people just flat out disappear and there's nothing to be shown for it. I go one of two ways: abduction or something got a hold of him. Because I'm telling you, I'm into cryptids, so I could name a few that that I think could possibly be culprit, but it always comes down to the big guy to me. Like he saw the big guy, I was like, I'm going to get a photo, and big guy turned around and stomped him into the ground or something.
Very well could be. I mean, everything's speculation at this point, but when I'm running a show called Myths, Monsters, and Mullets, I'm going with the monster probably.
I am too, man. Well, there's just too much that we don't know. There's too much we can't explain. There's too much that's going on that other people that have been big times uh, uh, have been very skeptical or starting to look at it like we do. A lot more people, especially with having shows like what you got going on in Drunken Cryptids and things like that. It starts to get people to like, yeah, what the hell was that I saw out there that day, or that kind of stuff.
I think that happens a lot because when we were growing up, we didn't have the internet. There was no such thing as podcast. You had to watch. We had to watch TV with what was on. You couldn't stream something. You couldn't just pick, hey, I want to watch that.
No, wasn't no DVR or nothing.
So, you had In Search of, things like that, and unsolved mysteries. But
Rescue
now with the internet,
911.
I hear people say all the time, well, why is there's so many more sightings now than there used to be? I don't think there's more. I think it's just the information's out there now.
The information's finally getting there. I remember the first time I ever seen anything on Bigfoot. It was a documentary on the Fouke monster out of Arkansas, and that family that got terrorized by that Bigfoot in that home. They call it the Fouke monster of Fouke, Arkansas. Man, that got me. That intrigued me from then on out. But it was like you say, back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and you see something like that, you're like, man, oh my God. You tell me, well, and you never see it again for years. Now you can type it on the internet, and I can watch it back from 1992. It's crazy. But
So,
that's what
you know
got
what?
me like thinking about that stuff.
You know what's funny that you bring up the Falcon monster
What's that?
is that's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's where the Drunken Cryptid guys are. They're in Arkansas.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
so I'm listening to, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the pyramids. I like the ancient Egypt stuff too.
I do too. I'm all about that stuff too.
Very much.
Yeah.
But I hate that stuff like ancient history and
Yep.
stuff like that. That stuff just fascinates me.
Me too, buddy. There's a whole nother world before us, man. There's a whole nother.
So they're talking about,
And the giants, bro, like how the Paiutes killed those giants in the caves out in Utah, and they end up finding those 3 giants, and they actually have their bones and everything. Them dudes were 16 foot tall, bro. 16 feet. Every
Right.
bit of it. Red hair still stuck to them. Remember they burned them in the cave and left them in there? They were in there digging out bat shit and ended up finding them.
right. So I'm listening to this podcast, and they're talking about how the pyramids are on the 33rd parallel.
Yeah.
I got to thinking about it. The 33rd parallel runs through Arkansas, through Falk.
Isn't the 33rd parallel also the DMZ in Korea?
Like most of the major wars that ever happened along the 33rd parallel.
3rd parallel.
Yeah.
Hey, no shit.
Yeah.
Have they been to Falk and looked through it? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, there's just so much weird stuff that happens on the 33rd parallel. And it dawned on me. I was like, I'm pretty sure the 33rd parallel is pretty close to the Louisiana Arkansas border. And I wasn't sure where Falk, however the heck you say it.
Falk? Yeah.
I wasn't sure where Boggy Creek and all that was.
Yeah, Boggy Creek. Yeah. The Boggy Creek monster. Yeah, that's right. The legend of Boggy Creek.
I Google this, and it's on like the 33.2 was it latitude? Yeah, latitude.
Yeah, latitude. Yeah.
33rd parallel.
You got latitude, longitude, latitude.
Yeah, longitude.
It would have to go across, right?
Yeah, so it's latitude.
Is latitude up and down or across?
Longitude's up and down because it's long. It's because longitude is the same distance. All the
I had that backwards. I had latitude, longitude completely backwards.
But either way, it dawned on me like that's got to be close to there. And sure enough, Boggy Creek on the 33rd parallel were all this weird.
God. And landlines, anywhere landlines lay, you're going to have activity of all kinds of activity. You're going to see things. You're going to have orbs. You're going to have spirits. You're going to have, you'll probably have Skinwalker for all I know, man. It seems like, what the Frog something ranch, you know what I'm talking about?
Blind Frog
there you
Ranch.
go, Blind Frog Ranch, along with the other one. Dang it, I'm drawing a blank right now. The Skinwalker Ranch. And then there's a whole nother one, right? But they all are on landlines, where landlines intersect. What are you laughing about, John?
I do watch that Blind Frog Ranch. I do watch. Can't say it for some reason, but I do watch it. They that ranch is only like 160 acres.
Yeah, it's not very big. It shouldn't be considered a ranch at all.
So you know the farm, my family's farm.
Yeah,
basically the same size as that farm.
Yep.
Well, I'm watching an episode the other day, and they go to this mine that they found by drone on this 160 acres.
Okay.
Like, how do you not know that this mine is on this 160? You're not talking 160 miles.
Our farm
160
had almost
acres is not
500 acres. We knew a
big.
lot about it, you know.
So they go to this mine that they saw on the what do they call that, where they use the LiDAR scan?
Yeah.
Okay. They go to this this mine, and they've got to camp overnight because it was such a long hike.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
thinking, you've got to be able to walk that in like an hour.
So they're really
Well,
stretching that out, huh?
yeah, that one, like,
Let me ask you a question. Now, there's one ranch, okay, and I don't know the name of it, and this is one of the best interviews I've ever seen before, and I can never find it. There was a dude that lived in this house in a ranch by himself, and he talked about how aliens, gray men, would come in on him, and the only way he could kill them was cut their heads off with a sword.
that
You
that
know what I'm
was on
talking
the
about?
confessionals.
Huh?
That was on the confessionals.
Bro, that I saw that dude's actual interview with that guy at that place. That sounded very convincing to me, the way this guy was talking. Like, he was very serious about this, man. You know, like,
Yeah,
he was very serious about this.
he was talking. I think that was in
He
Arizona.
convinced me that he was killing these things with a sword, for real. Like, I'm convinced that he actually had killed these things.
Yeah, he was saying they were coming through portals and stuff. And I forget what Tony called that show, but it was something Slayer or something Killer.
I don't know.
But yeah, he was talking about these aliens coming up, and the only way you could kill them was basically like the Highlander and cut
He
their
had
head
a
off.
samurai sword.
Yeah,
And he said the only way to kill them, he had to cut their heads off. And he was not joking. He said he
right.
killed 6 or 7 of these things, man. He waits for them, he said. You know?
Yeah, it was like something about like the portals would open in his house or something,
Yes.
and
They come in
he
while
would
he's
like tell them to come
asleep.
through and chop their heads off.
Yeah. Yeah. He was serious as any man having a stroke, dude. Like, I believed him. By the time it was over, that man had me convinced. And I don't believe just anything I hear, you know, but this guy was very convincing that he was actually killing these things, man. Like, he had me believing it, because that wasn't the only activity that was going on at this place. You know,
Right.
he was seeing stuff and everything.
What wasn't he had something like time slips and stuff like
Yeah,
he
he would lose time. All kinds of things were happening to this guy. You know, all kinds of stuff. It reminded me of the ancient Ram Inn. That guy that lived in the ancient Ram Inn, like that from the medieval times, oldest house in England. And he would talk about slipping into portals, and how he had incubus and succubus and all kinds of different things would show up. And, you know, and that's what it would remind me of, how he would have to fight off these things. But that dude lived in that house, man. Like, he brought that on to himself because he lived there. That place just looked like it was the most haunted place in England, man. You know what I'm talking about? You
Yeah,
see the ancient Ram Inn?
yeah,
That's probably the oldest house I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's like still put together. It's like one of them houses you see on Harry Potter, where it's like standing cockeyed sideways and stuff. You know, seriously, it really does got a whole thatched roof with you know, it still looks like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
They use that Wingardium Leviosa to put the thing up.
Are you into the Hobbits and all that kind of stuff? The Hobbit,
I like
the
Harry
movies, the
Potter. I like
Hobbits and stuff.
Lord of the Rings. I like.
I love that stuff, dude.
And I
I love
like.
them hobbits with the big feet. Them dudes kill me, got the big beards and stuff, and they're always ready to go to battle. I love them dudes.
Yeah,
They're my favorite.
I do like the Lord of the Rings. That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite fantasy stories. And
Mine too, man.
I've read the books, I should say. And
When we were kids, it was Willow. You know, you remember Willow? I know, man. Willow's still good. Willow's still the little not the leprechaun. I think what is not a leprechaun, but a troll with the nose. Always
Right.
running after Tom Cruise in that thing, man. That thing it still gets to me, man. I still get goosebumps. That thing, you know, I love it.
Speaking of trolls, have you ever seen the movie Troll 2?
I have not seen Troll 2, but I've seen Troll.
It has nothing to do with Troll.
It doesn't?
No. Dude, I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi right now. You need to look it up. It is like one of the worst movies ever freaking made, and I love it. I love this movie.
My wife hates me watching movies like that, and I laugh so hard.
Oh my God, dude, you got to make her watch it. It's freaking great.
She'll hate it, and I'll love it. I'll love it. I guarantee it.
The acting, the writing, the special effects, everything is freaking horrible, and I love it.
Oh, it's one of those dumb movies you can't stop watching.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. There's also a documentary about it. I think it's called "The Worst Movie Ever Made" or something like that.
Get out of here.
They talk about the guy who made the movie. Like, he thought he made like the best horror movie of all time. and when they did the premiere of this movie, the director's there, and everybody starts laughing, and he got pissed because everybody laughing. This is a horror movie. Why is everybody laughing?
This is my masterpiece, my Picasso.
Right. Oh. Right. Yeah, you gotta watch it, dude. There are so many good, stupid lines in this freaking movie, and I love it.
I'm telling you, I love that stuff, dude. Leprechaun, all that stuff. I love those corny ass little movies like that that make me laugh. I love them. I love them.
Something I forgot to do this year, because it's been kind of a tradition around my house for about the last 4 or 5 years. Have you ever seen Santa Claus versus the Devil?
No, I don't think so. Sounds interesting, though. It sounds fucking pretty interesting.
Well, they you can find it on Mystery Science Theater 3000. They did a thing on it.
So this is your Christmas movie each year now,
dude. It's Mexican. It's like a Mexican made movie.
Okay, cool.
So it's got really bad voiceovers and stuff, but
like Nacho Libre, horrible but funny.
I can't believe like there hasn't been riots in the street, because it's probably because nobody's ever heard of this movie.
Probably not. You're very right.
This freaking movie has to be one of the most racist things I've ever seen in my life.
Shit.
And it's a kid's movie.
I've got to see it. I've got to watch it. I have to, dude. What is Santa versus the Devil, you said?
Santa Claus versus the Devil. It is so bad.
I got to write this down.
I love it. I usually make my wife watch it every year, and I forgot to this year.
Gosh, man, I got to see that, dude. Hey, we need to talk about The Fog, dude.
Oh, yeah. Look, we got off the rails. That's what this show's about.
That's right. Off the rails, dude. That's why it's called Off the Rails, because we do this quite a bit.
We do. But I do get a lot of positive feedback when you and people I do get off the rails.
People laugh. I like to laugh. People like to laugh. It's the key to life, dude. If we can't laugh, you can't be serious all the time. It would suck.
Right.
Life would suck.
Like shows like Sasquatch Chronicles, where Wes is usually maybe sometimes in his opening, sometimes in his outro, he'll crack jokes and stuff. But when he has guests on there, it's very, very professional. And
sure, I get that. I totally get that. When I was on your show, I was being as professional, as real as I could tell you, man. I mean, I wasn't, it wasn't like I was trying to be joking or anything like that. When I first came onto your show, was telling you my story, I was being as that's how it should be, when you're doing stuff like that. And I agree. But when you got it named off the rails and you can do this, it's fine.
I try to be, as professional as possible while a person's telling their story.
Sure.
But I have this, there's something in me.
It's a mechanism. You have to say, you have to joke, you have to. It has to come out of your mouth or you're going to die.
Exactly.
I know. Exactly. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
I feel bad sometimes because, you got these people coming in and telling their stories.
And some don't get the joke.
I'm trying so hard not to laugh. And it's not that I'm laughing at them. It's because I thought of something funny to say. And
I'm with you, man. I'm there.
So I hear you. I programmed this button on my soundboard. That's what she said.
Oh, dude. You've got to be using that in the lives and stuff, bro. You have to. You should throw a couple of those in there. You need to throw a couple in there.
I think I want to download Michael Scott saying it, though. So it, doesn't sound like I'm a ventriloquist.
Or when someone gets something right pretty good, you can get that basketball horn.
Oh,
that'll be fun. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about that fog, man.
Let's talk about the fog. We've been doing this for how long now? Oh my God, it's 8:45. We've been doing this for over an hour.
You gotta get up.
Oh, I'm okay, but my bladder won't last much longer. But we're going to talk about this fog.
All right, I you go ahead and then you let me know when you want me to.
No, I don't know who all is. Let me start that one over. I don't know how much you've seen of these videos of the fog, this weird fog that they're reporting all over the world.
Myself, I am just now seeing them, but this happened to me 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, man, I even had my wife on the back porch with me at 2:30 in the morning. I tell you, I like to go out and stargaze, man. I like to watch stuff. I've seen the International Space Station. I watch meteor showers all the time. Man, it was 2:30 in the morning. I go out and it's a full moon, complete full. And I go outside, man, and it was like it was snowing. Okay, the fog had come down. It was snowing. I could see the particles in the snow in the sun or the moonlight, right? You could see it in the moonlight, but they were bigger than normal, not damp, and I could smell a chemical smell. And instantly my brain just told me instantly, man, go in the house. Immediately. Now this is before anything came out about no fog or anything, man. And I never even said anything to anybody. I just told my wife to come out. You smell this? I thought somebody might have been burning something and it was mixing in the air, right? That's what I thought. Now I'm thinking differently, man, because after that, we didn't see sunlight for 4 days, 70-degree days, and it wasn't burning the haze off, man. Film on the cars. My sister-in-law is so sick that the doctors can't figure out what's going on with her, and she can't even swallow her food. Her throat is so bad. My wife's been sneezing constantly, head stuffed up. I'm stuffed up and sniffing all the time, and it's been like that since that night we walked out into that shit at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm telling you, man, it's like when you go to the pool and you suck some damn chlorine up in your nose, cough and choke on it, and an hour later you get that little bit of hint of it still burning in your nose or something. That's what it was doing to me. And that's what it did to me. And this was 2 weeks ago. This was before any reports were ever coming out about this stuff. And I didn't know anything about it. Wasn't even thinking about that. Now I know I saw it. Now I know I experienced it. I know what that shit,
Yeah, I've seen a lot of videos and the same thing that you're saying about the illness, the burning of the mouth and nose and throat, and people getting sick, and that it looks like snow. Like when you see people shining their flashlight through it, it doesn't look like fog. It looks like freaking snow.
Yeah, there's particles. You can see the particles. That's what I kept saying. I'm like, I got to get out of this. My mind was telling me, my gut was telling me this isn't right. My gut just straight up told me, man, turn right, and I did. I swear to you.
So
I got some weird sixth sense with my gut, man. I follow it and it works. It always has. Got me through life.
so there's a lot of theories going around about it. One is the chemtrail thing, which I'm
I've seen
a science.
chemtrails 100 times over, man, and I've never had that ever come down and do that before. Never. I've seen the
Right.
chemtrails. I've got videos on TikTok of me catching chemtrails, 7, 8, 9 different planes at one time, man, coming from the ocean. Now coming right off the ocean, great big 747s, dude. And this was not like any. This rolled in and stayed. You know, it stayed. It didn't dissipate. It rolled and then it was gone. Then it was gone. It was gone. One day it was sunny again. 4 days. 4 complete days. Day and night.
So what just happened right before the fog 3 weeks ago?
Right before the fog. Those drones.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, them drones, dude. Remember they were spraying shit everywhere.
Yeah. There was reports of them spraying and shooting stuff and
Yep.
whatever. But now everybody's looking up. Okay.
Well, there's no reason to think otherwise than to think that they were trying to cover something up throughout the daytime too, because the sunlight was not busting through this. You could not see a plane. You could hear the plane. You could hear a helicopter, but you couldn't see nothing, Jack. They were doing whatever they were doing, and they were seriously getting it done. And I'm telling you, because I could hear it, I just couldn't see it.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people are saying, that, can't see the drone. The fog's in there.
Yep. And these were I didn't hear any drones. I didn't see any drones. These were actual big planes, actual military choppers, big choppers, and they were flying more than normal. Well, there's flight patterns that are scheduled regular flight patterns out here, and I know them. I've been here so long, especially with the helicopters from Eustis and the F-22s out of Langley. I know when they're flying, and when it's not them, I know when it's not them because it's not them. It doesn't sound like them. They take one course, come back. It's a flight pattern. They're getting hours in, right? But this was unscheduled. This was something happening at 2:30 in the morning. So
Yeah, it's weird, and going full circle here, we're probably never going to find the whole story. We're not going to find out what it was.
I don't know. It's dangerous, man, because I've told you about my grandfather and how he passed and what he got and how he got sprayed with that stuff over in Nam. And man, how are we gonna know 20 years from now? I don't have, I would say something else, but tumors growing out of me somewhere or something. We're sorry, but you have these symptoms from back in 2025 because there was fog in the air. Well, call this number and you could have a freaking lawsuit. I'm dying because of that.
Yeah. We
I don't
don't
want
know.
that.
We don't know. Yeah.
And it's scary, dude, because it's happening everywhere. These people are coming out of the woodwork with it, man. And we're not talking United States. We're talking U.S. We're talking Scotland, England, Ireland. You name it, it's happening.
Yeah. I didn't see any of this fog. And maybe it's because the meth clouds in Indiana are just too strong.
No, I'm
For the
really
fall?
surprised you didn't because they talked about Ohio too. There's a lady in Ohio talked about her throat's all messed up and she's really sick,
Yeah, I'd seen a guy talking about it where he hadn't seen, like, this fog lasted for 3 days, and it was in Ohio.
I know, man. And what's going on in Ohio, I wouldn't want to live there anymore. I'd be terrified. I wouldn't want to drink the water. I wouldn't want to swim in the water. I wouldn't want to be nowhere where it rains because all the chemicals are burned off of that train and everything else, man. I swear they're trying to kill everybody in the whole state of Ohio, man. It's like they want to wipe Ohio off the map for some reason. The tornadoes, strange thing about tornadoes, John. We grew up, we were always told we can't get hit by tornadoes because we are in between two rivers. We always were told that, right? Now look what's going on. Ohio turned into Oklahoma overnight, man. Oklahoma, Ohio, you're Oklahoma now.
Yeah, we were told that, but I think that's just an old wives' tale about the two rivers thing.
Well, we never got hit by tornadoes growing up.
Yeah, but
It might be a wives' tale and all that. We heard the sirens go off a couple times, but we never got destroyed. Xenia got hit in '78, and then got hit in the '90s. I worked for Shanstar delivering furniture down there. I remember that. But other than that, man, we never got it. You know,
yeah,
little mini tornadoes and stuff would tear things up, but we never got no F3s and stuff like that coming through there like that. You know,
you know what it could have been.
when El Nino exploded.
I moved out of the hometown.
Yeah, that's what it was.
State
Said, hey, John's gone. Take care of it.
My mullet pollen was keeping the tornadoes away.
That was feeding it, man. That was just keep feeding it.
But yeah, that's the problem. You know, now we have all these turbines over here, these wind turbines over here in Indiana, and it's just my pollen mullet seeding the clouds and taking the tornadoes over to Ohio.
Yeah, that's scary to talk about when you talk about seeding, because that's falling right in with the chemicals, falling right in with the fog. And you got these pilots that were like, okay, I wish I could find this interview. When I find it, I'll send it to you. This pilot, he goes, well, I'm 57. I don't have any kids. I've never been married. What do I have to worry about? I don't have, because the guy asked him, he goes, well, if you're spraying these chemicals everywhere, wouldn't you be worried about your family? And that's what he told him. He's like, they pay me enough. I don't have to, and I don't have to worry. I don't have family. So these guys are soulless. They're heartless.
Yeah.
They're soulless. They got that dollar on their mind, and they don't care if we die, man. And they really are truly spraying shit on top of our food and everything else. It's like when they went to no-till. I never trusted that. I never trusted no-till. It's when they stopped pulling the ground up, they started putting these hydro seeds and all that stuff in the ground. We got to eat that kind of food. No, the animals don't even eat it, John.
Right. Just like margarine. I can't believe, like, I want butter. I really do.
Right. And where did it go? Cooking with real fat, real animal fat, man. I'm a butter guy too. I can't change my ways of growing up. We grew up eating right before the stupid health pyramids showed up and started killing everybody. That pyramid, yeah, that's to keep you sick, to keep doctors employed, to keep everything going round and round and round. That's a bunch of horse manure.
Well, they called it the food pyramid.
Food pyramid, yeah.
That implies that there's at least two other sides to that thing, and I'm pretty sure that's where the Reese cups are hiding.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, and the ice cream, man. They don't say nothing about ice cream.
I want to see those other two sides, because the food was a lot better on those other two sides, I bet.
Yeah, then we got introduced to all the bullshit growing up with our generation when it came to hydrogenated fats and sugars and yellow dye number 5s and all the good stuff. You know, that started in the 90s, you know. Well, teenage years, I would say. Because when I tell people that we had bottles at our drive-thru till like 94, they tell me I'm crazy. I'm like, no, dude. I used to walk these things up there and cash them in, get 10 cents a piece for these things. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I got money for those jokers, dude.
That pop was so freaking good.
Right?
On those glass bottles.
The long necks, the tall ones.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. When everything went to plastic, I hated it.
You could go buy a pop for like 50 cents and then take the bottle back and get 10 cents back.
Yep. You basically paid 40 cents for a soda pop, man. Those are the days back then. You could go through the drive-through, $2, get you a 6-pack of soda, 6-pack of cans. 6-pack cans, $2.
You could also walk into the local grocery store with a note from your mom and buy a 6-pack of beer.
I used to do that. I was one of those kids. When I would walk into the drive-thru, hand them the note, and they knew it wasn't my handwriting. I didn't write that pretty. They knew my mom, Bolton's, you know, well, the Boltons ended up getting it after Roger. And Roger, they didn't care, man. They'd send me. I couldn't go with alcohol, but they would send me home with cigarettes. You know.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I think
Anyway.
this is a good place. I think this is a good place to
I don't
pull
think
this
we
up.
can go any further with the fog until we know more. And I'd like to have another one of these as soon as we find out some more what's going on with these guys. Maybe you can get Drunken Cryptids to come on with us or some of the other guys, and we can have a block party. You know,
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get 4 or 5 of us in here talking and being able to brainstorm. That would be fun.
We would definitely need some kind of rules on who's talking at each time, because
we would have to mic. You know what I mean?
yeah, we would have to.
If you're hosting, you would have to go around and say, okay, Howie, what do you feel? Or then you go to Michael and say, Michael, what do you feel? You know, and after that, say, oh, you know, maybe we raise our hand and to be able to counter what someone says or to bring it, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. We can make it work. It'd be easy.
Yeah. I want to poke a little fun at Matthew. It can't be on a Sunday. It can't be after the Steelers play, because he won't adhere to that 2-drink maximum.
I can't blame the guy. You know, why not? There's nothing wrong with that to me. Nothing wrong with that at all.
There's
live your life, brother. You know.
Well,
I'm sorry. I meant. I said Michael. I did, didn't I? I said Michael.
Yeah, you did. I knew.
Sorry,
though.
My bad. My bad, Michael.
Matthew.
Matt, I did that on purpose. So I need to follow. So if I'm going to see what you're seeing on Facebook with the updates, I'm following the Drunken Cryptids and I'm following Nevermore Hollows already.
Yeah, it wasn't. They didn't post it. It was in
a group chat.
No, Drunken Cryptids dropped a new episode today, and they were talking about it.
Okay, cool. I have to watch that, man. All right, John, I'll let you end this, dude, because I know you got to work tomorrow and it's late.
Yeah. We just hit 9 o'clock, and
I could talk for hours, dude. Honestly, I sit alone by myself a lot. I could talk for hours.
Well, we're going to do this again. I'd really like to do this again.
I had fun.
Yeah. Well, Copenhagen.
Anytime, just hit me with topics, dude. Like, if you want to talk a couple topics, I'll sit and do what I did today, get my research down, get my pen and paper, do what I did, and hopefully we have more to go by. You know, I'm glad we had what we had. I'm glad you had the information that I didn't even know about, you know.
Yeah, I'll give you more than like a 6-hour head start, too.
Hey, I had the time. You know what I mean? I'm good.
Well, I literally thought about this morning, because I was listening to Drunken Cryptids. It spurred this. It was like, because this is what they were doing. They were kind of doing like a little round table thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, as much as we get off the tracks, which is where I came up with off the rails.
I like it. I like it. It's working.
Yeah. I was like, we could do this, because this is how we act in the live anyway. But now we don't have any kind of,
the distractions, man, with all the gifts and the gifts are good, but all the people trying to get their word in and hoping you read it, and you hear it, and then they type it again, think you didn't see it, but I know you see it. You just can't respond because you're trying to listen to somebody tell the story. And I get it, man. This is cool. I had to download it 5 minutes before you came and got me because I'm stupid. And my wife goes, "Hey, you might want to download Google Meet, or you're not going to talk to John." I said, "Thanks, man." So literally, man, 5 minutes before we got on, I was downloading that bastard. All right, brother. Man. I'll let you go, man. You have a good one. Hit me up. Let me know when you want to do this again and what you want to talk about. And let me know what's up for Sunday, topics for Sunday, what you want to talk about.
Right now, I think I told you I'm about 99% sure I have somebody lined up.
I hope so. I hope she comes on there, dude.
Yeah, me too.
I really hope that. I hope she comes on there, bro.
She had said that originally she was going to come in during December, but, you know, with family and Christmas.
No, I get it. That's what happened to me. You know, my birthday, Christmas, all that. It just fell right into it. I wasn't that so on that last
Right.
live for sure. I couldn't. There was nothing I could do.
Right.
But hopefully she comes in, man. This is a time where people are going to be sitting around. It's cold. It's not a Monday after work. You know, I think the only reason why I said the other day to you about Mondays is because you know what a Monday can be like. You get home, you can have a terrible Monday. By 7 o'clock, you're just unwinding like, oh man, you know, I forgot about the live, or you know, Tuesday. Did you try Tuesday? Did it work out better for you?
I haven't tried any other day yet. I did go live on Monday this week just because I couldn't go on Sunday because of the weather. And
did that do okay?
I had a couple people come in. I had that guy from Lodge Tales, the Native American from the Blackfoot tribe.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. I got Blackfoot in me, man. Blackfoot in me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he came.
You know, I'm a direct descendant of Annie Oakley, bro. Through my grandfather, I'm a direct descendant. She's actually a cousin of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. That's it. I ain't got nothing cool. I ain't cool, man. Don't think I'm cool, man. I'm not cool. Okay, I'm not cool. No, I'm not cool. All right, I'll let you go, bro. We're enough joking and smoking. I gotta go.
Cause girl, we're rolling like a freight train. Cause what you make me feel is insane. Cause girl, we're rolling like a freight train. Like we do. Yeah. Saw you walk through the door like you ain't been here before. I didn't know what to do just to get closer to you. When all the heads turn your way, cause every room is your stage. And girl, I could not believe when you look back at me. Oh, yeah. Cause girl, we're